you. Have a nice day.
Hi, I'm Tom, and today we'll be talking about a horribly fantastic film, Chopping Mall. Horribly fantastic films are movies that are just so good for all the wrong reasons. They're low budgeted, lost films, flops, or they're just all around bad. But they have a knack of being wildly entertaining. And today we'll be talking about the plot of one of my personal favorites, Chopping Mall. We'll be using Wikipedia for plot details and filling in anything that Wiki leaves behind, which is usually a lot. So let's get started. Park Plaza Mall has just installed a state-of-the-art security system, including shutters. Wow. Across all the exits. That's crazy. And 3 high-tech robots programmed to disable and apprehend thieves using tasers and tranquilizer guns. Allison and Susie, co-workers at the pizzeria in the mall, join up with Ferdy and Greg, Susie's boyfriend, along with their other friends, couples Rick and Linda and Mike and Leslie, for an after-hours party in a furniture store where Mike and Greg and Ferdy work. Once the mall closes for the night, the 2 couples begin to have sex. Whoa, that took a very quick turn, but okay. And they drink and party inside the furniture store while Allison is set up to watch movies with Ferdy. That's okay. Well, actually, it's 3 couples. They begin to have sex. We have to make sure we get this right. We need to make sure that you know what this place smells like and how everyone is just having full-blown public sex while Ferdy and his date watch a movie in the same room, directly behind them. Also, Ferdy is such a push-around. We already know who will be cleaning up the store afterwards. But outside, a lightning storm strikes the mall several times and damages the computer controlling protectors, which malfunction and kill the technicians and a janitor before starting their routine patrol. When Mike goes to purchase cigarettes for Leslie at the vending machine, Protector 1 attacks him and slashes his throat. When Leslie goes to find him, she is chased by Protector 1, which kills her with a laser. The others witness Leslie's death and barricade themselves in a stockroom. And here's Leslie's death just one more time. Beautiful. But the ensuing scene after Leslie's death doesn't make quite a lot of sense when it comes to the lasers. I personally believe that a laser that can make a head explode, I swear that's the last time. But a laser that can do that seems like it would be able to punch through a wooden stockroom door, especially since it just got done lighting up the whole store. So, I doubt that the laser will do anything like cut through metal later in the movie. Oh. Anyways, the women attempt to escape through an air vent at the behest of their partners, but Susie panics and they exit the vent system into an automotive shop, arming themselves with gasoline and flares. Now, as someone not born in the 80s, I don't think they sold gas in stores. If it was like butane or propane or something along those lines, I understand. But gas,
Regular or unleaded. It gets the job done.
Meanwhile, the men break into a sports goods store to arm themselves with firearms. Yes, and that's how we sell them, like loaves of bread. Reunited. Well, actually, this is before they reunite, but the group, i.e. the men, come on, Wiki, use propane tanks to seemingly destroy Protector 1. While the men set up the elevator as a booby trap, the killbots ambush the women and ignite Susie. Sorry, that made me laugh. And ignite Susie. Oh, God. By shooting her gasoline can and burning her alive. Greg unsuccessfully shoots them, the protectors. It makes it sound like he just turned on the group, before Rick drags him away. The teenagers, Jesus, teenagers. These people are supposed to be teenagers? One of the couples is married. All right, I guess I should have pre-read this, but it takes away a lot of the humor. The teenagers, though, regroup and rig the elevator trap on Protector 2, destroying it. Also, Wiki didn't put in, unbeknownst to the gang, Protector 1 has risen from the grave. They then hide in the restaurant where Allison works. And the deceased Susie. Come on, Wiki. She just died. She ignited. And we're already forgetting about her. Anyways, inside, Greg confronts Allison and Linda about leaving the air ducts and exhibits rage due to Susie's death, pulling his gun on Ferdy when he intercedes on Allison and Linda's behalf. And all I got to say about this is Ferdy really should have stepped up like an hour ago when all his friends were having sex behind him. You know, you can't win respect now, Ferdy. Anyways, Rick tries to calm Greg down, and Ferdy suggests destroying the Killbot's main control center in hopes of shutting them down.
The master computer is somewhere on the 3rd level. We shut it down, it shuts the robots down.
The group agrees and heads to the control center on the 3rd floor. And one of the robots throws Greg over the railing and he falls to his death. Somehow. You know, I remember that they had little hands that they used to kill the first technician, but throwing a guy? Yeah, I mean, they just needed to find a way how to kill Greg. On the run, the 4 remaining survivors, Allison, Ferdy, Rick, and Linda, also find the first Protector robot recovered after his earlier defeat. They take refuge inside the department store and set up mannequins to confuse Protector 1 and 3. Even though technically Protector 1 isn't there and it's, you know, circling around. Their plan works as the robots fire at the dummies, and one of them, the only present Protector, blinds itself with its own reflected laser. Well, we know which one's blind because he's the only one there. It's Protector 3. However, Protector 3, see, why would they put it in the sentence and not put it in the first? Well, what? Okay. Anyways, Protector 3 kills Linda, and an enraged Rick rams a mall cart into it. A bolt of electricity kills him, but his attack succeeds in destroying the 3rd Protector robot. Such a brave sacrifice. Protector 1, after Ferdy and Allison agree to split up, corners Allison, but Ferdy rescues her and shoots it point blank, damaging the laser just before he is felled. Despite an injured leg, Allison escapes into... Wait. You know, we're jumping the trigger there, Wiki. First, we have to tell the fan, thank you for watching, how Allison hurt her leg. Allison, after seeing Ferdy getting taken out, runs from Protector 1. Now, here we can see Allison's options for hiding. You got storefronts, kiosk, or you can just keep running until a better option, you know, comes up. Well, I'm going to give you a minute to decide which you would choose. Did you choose the kiosk? Well, you're wrong. Oh, you chose the storefront. See, I can't hear you, but you're wrong there too. You know, that's 2 for 2. You want to take another guess? Keep running? Wrong. Allison does the only sensible thing. Hangs off the railing. Yeah, I don't know how else this was supposed to play out. I thought maybe she was smarter than the other 3 ladies because she was the only one not involved in an orgy. And she knew how to shoot a gun, but
You're dumb, you're all dumb.
After plummeting through the tent and falling on a cushy pile of suitcases, Allison runs with her now injured leg to Ellis Paint Company and sets up a trap by mixing paint and chemicals. Allison then lures Protector 1 inside, where it gets stuck, unable to get traction on the spilled paint and paint thinners. Allison then tosses a flare into the store, which she collected from the store where she was going to use the gas cans as a weapon. But as I was saying, Allison then tosses a flare into the store, saying her badass line,
Have a nice day!
okay, maybe not that badass, igniting the chemicals and finally destroying Protector 1. As daylight appears, Allison leaves the store, well, the paint store that she has already left because it's on fire. Come on. Just as Ferdy awakens and reunites with Allison after having found toilet paper, because, you know, he needed toilet paper for his head before he can go save the girl. And they are the only remaining survivors. And yeah, that's the end of the movie. Just kidding. We can't actually play that song. We don't have the money, and neither did this movie. But this movie was just glorious. Not Wikipedia's failure once again at plot writing, but this movie. You know, it's creme la creme. I don't know if I should say more honestly. Should I talk about the dummy replacement after bravely charging a robot on the slowest vehicle possible? Should I talk about Susie igniting? Should I talk about Susie igniting? I really thought the robot was going to drive over her. I just felt like that was such a missed opportunity. The Popeye movie made sure they didn't miss it. But I'm glad I got to see a fire in the chest cavity of a dummy. That helped really sell that scene. Or how about the only character that seems to know how to shoot is never given a gun again?
Nice shot.
Dad's in
Allison's brave attempt in hiding. Or how Ellis Paint, which is thanked in the credits, actually allowed them to blow up a fake store filled with their product. Pretty cool. Also, it's a weird flex to advertise that you have the most combustible of all paint. So, yeah. And if you're bored when watching this, which I don't know how you could be, you can play Spot the Reference because the movie is filled with Roger Corman shout-outs. Shout-outs also for certain actors or directors by renaming storefronts or hanging their posters. They're just sprinkled all throughout. Or I could mention how there is no mention of the pet store at all in Wikipedia's plot, and how Allison showed her intelligence a second time by breaking the top glass window and then the bottom glass window once she realized that it wasn't a full window. Or how about the snakes and the spiders that were released in this scene magically turned into plastic spiders right after they got their 30 seconds of recording? She was not doing that again. But I won't, because how can you slander perfection? Outside of that, there's nothing more I can add into this. It's a 10 out of 10. It's up there next to The Godfather. So there's nothing else to say. So you guys have a good one. Bye.